What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. You know, every time that I post a video talking about anything to do with politics and things like that, world events or whatever, I always get, it seems always, anyway, probably 80 or 90% of the time, a comment from someone asking, what am I going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Most of the time it's, what are you going to do about it? Because they themselves don't want to do anything. They want to put it off on someone else. And that's the problem, and one of the reasons we're going to not really get anything done, in my opinion. This is one of those videos that will probably make a few people unsubscribe because it's not going to be a popular answer. Because most people would rather be filled full of bull crap and lies and fantasies than they would the truth. As for what are we going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? Not a thing. Because in reality, there is nothing I can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. The only change that would come to change anything, political wise or whatever, would be a mass awakening, a mass of people, a majority of people getting together, figuring everything out, and fixing the problem. And that's not going to happen because if you look around right now, everything going on, all the corruption, the election things, what's happened, everything going on. We see the pandemic. We saw people reacted to that. People aren't going to wake up. People aren't going to do anything. The only way people would riot and loot and actually do anything to try to change anything would be if they were starving to death, and that point is coming, I think. But as far as, you know, you and I, what are we going to do about it? I think some people want me to say we're going to take up arms or something like that, take the country back, we're going to vote, whatever. It's not going to change anything as far as, you know, the voting definitely isn't. We see how the elections are ran here in the United States. It's a banana republic. It's corrupt. The system is corrupt. The United States and every other government in the world, in my opinion, is fully completely corrupt. The United States government is one of the most corrupt governments in the world, in my opinion. It is up there with Ukraine as far as the corruption goes, and actually a lot of corruption right now is tied in together. If you see my last video I posted about Zelensky, people want some kind of a magic answer. They want you to be able to say a sentence that's going to fix everything, and it's not going to happen because it's not reality. Things have been put in place for the powers that be to keep in power and to gain more and more power. And as far as you and I doing anything about it to change anything, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. That's just the reality of the situation. What can we actually do? We can get our houses in order. We can prepare. We can worry about our own community. As far as changing anything at the federal level, it's not going to happen unless there's some kind of a mass awakening and the people come together to actually change things. But then I think it's going to be so down, so collapsed, that it's not going to do any good. But because by the time people actually do anything, actually realize what's going on, it's going to be too far collapsed to fix anything. It's going to be like living in collapsed Venezuela, Argentina at best, Venezuela probably, if not worse than that. But people are always looking for the easy answer. What are you going to do? Not what am I going to do, it's what are you going to do. They always ask, or usually that's the way it always goes. And as far as politically goes, voting, bitching, moaning, protesting, leaving comments, things like that, even making these videos, is it going to change anything politically? Is it going to change the course of the nation? Is it going to change the course of the world? We have the globalists that are set on a certain course. Some people are putting up a little bit of resistance, but I don't think it's going to be enough, unfortunately. Hopefully I'm wrong. But as far as you and I, realistically, you know, I can feed you full of fantasy, so you need to start a militia and get armed and train and everything you do, but not for the purpose that we're talking about here. The purpose of protecting your own property, your own family, your own preps, your own self-reliance. That is the best options you can do. The best thing you can do, and the thing that will actually make a difference in your life. Focus on your community, your neighborhood, your family. Focus on your own preparations, your own survival. Focus on your own self-reliance, and stop worrying about what are we going to do. Because realistically, I know it's not popular. There's nothing that we're going to do to fix anything because people won't wake up. They're not going to wake up, in my opinion. It's like they are asleep. People will argue the fact that anything is even wrong. Most people, probably 70 or 80% of the people, think that everything is fine. Everything's going to be okay. We're going to vote. We're going to elect someone. We're going to fix this problem. It's going to be great. Everything is what we're being told by the media. This is America. This is a free country. We're for truth, justice, Constitution. We go to other countries. We bomb the crap out of those other countries, overthrow their leaders, overthrow their governments, put their own puppet dictators to bring democracy and freedom to those countries. People actually believe what they've been fed for decades. It's astonishing. I've had people argue with me about the southern border, saying that it wasn't open, that the southern border was secure. We talk about the economy. People will argue about the inflation, and it's right there. I mean, you can look at what we paid for things a year ago versus now, and people will still argue that there's nothing. This very small inflation. It's been like 4% inflation over the last 4 or 5 years. They will argue. People argue that our government isn't corrupt. People's living in a fantasy. They really are. That's why if you think that people are going to stand up in mass to actually be enough to change anything and do anything, then you're kidding yourself. The only time that people are going to stand up in mass to do anything is when they're starving. Then they're going to realize what's going on, but then it's going to be too late. That's why you need to focus on your own preparations, your own food storage, your own self-reliance, getting paid out of debt, getting armed, working with your community, your local community, and preparing for what's coming. Because people aren't going to wake up in time to do anything. By the time they wake up, they're going to be starving. It's going to be in full and total collapse. But then it's going to be too late. If you look around now, how many people's waking up? I mean, look at everything that's going on right now, everything that's happened. People are still asleep. People are, even the patriots and the conservatives and everybody, they're just think it's normal. Everything's going to be okay. We're going to elect someone. We're going to fix the problem through an election, or it's just going to work itself out in the end. It's going to be better in the end. Oh, they're so delusional. I mean, it is frustrating for me to talk to people about prepping, because a lot of people, the majority of people, aren't prepping, aren't doing anything. And if they thought that things was really bad, they'd be prepping. But people live in a fantasy world. They think everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to work itself out. We're going to vote. We're going to elect someone. Congress is going to do something. I mean, bull crap. Just complete, total bull crap. They don't see it. They don't want to see it. They want to live in this fantasy world of theirs that they've made for themselves and what they've been told all their life by their parents in school, by the politicians, by the talking heads in the mainstream media. They want to believe. They want to believe. And that's why it's so difficult to convince anyone of what's coming, and that you and I, as individuals, aren't going to change the course of this. And by the time people actually figure it out and stand up, if they ever do, it's going to be when they're starving to death, can't feed themselves, can't feed their families, and then they're going to be dependent on outside sources to give them a small pittance of food to eat, just enough to sustain them, to keep them alive. So they're going to be even more subservient, in my opinion. There's not going to be anything happen to fix this, in my opinion. All you can do yourself is to prepare, get ready, prep, and focus on your community. Get right with God, because it's coming. You can pretend all you want. You can write your comments. Well, what are you going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? What's the answer? The answer is prepping. The answer is food storage. The answer is growing your own food, learning how to find food, learning how to hunt, preserve food, learning about edible plants, medical plants, learning how to fish, learning how to trap fish. It's actually more effective than fishing is. Learning how to defend yourself, learning how to reload, stockpiling supplies, tools, learning how to repair things, learning how to build things, being an asset to your community, your local community, working together with your community. Stop worrying about fixing anything at the federal level. I mean, you can go vote if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't cost anything besides your gasoline or your energy to walk to the voting booth. So go ahead and vote if you want. It doesn't hurt anything, like I said. And in fact, if you want to, I encourage you if that makes you happy. But don't expect it to actually change anything, because it's not. We are set on a course, on a destination, and the destination is somewhere we don't want to go. And unfortunately, you and I, the people watching this YouTube channel, aren't going to be able to do anything about it, because it's going to take a mass uprising, a mass awakening for anything to happen. And they've planned for all that. They have all their brainwashing through the mainstream media, the politicians and the schools and everything that teaches everyone what they want you to believe, to keep you pacified a little bit longer, If you don't believe me, look at what has happened so far. Look at the pandemic. Everyone stayed in their houses. Most people anyway, stayed home, didn't go to work, shut their businesses down, put on their face diaper, stood 6 feet apart, went and got their injections. And I'm talking about the conservatives also. You had Donald Trump, Operation Warp Speed, pushed it right through, encouraging everyone the vaccine is good, it's great. And people just didn't get it. They just rolled over, and they're still rolling over. And like I said, if people actually believed that things were bad, they would prepare. They'd be prepping. But unfortunately, preppers are a small percentage of the population, and the people who aren't prepping are actually hostile towards prepping, because they want to believe that everything's going to be okay even when it isn't. So realize you and I aren't going to do anything to fix this. There's nothing we can do to fix this. What can I do to fix the United States of America besides making these videos to try to get you all to prepare to be ready? Not a damn thing. What can you do? Nothing. Like I said, the only way anything would change is a mass awakening and a mass uprising to fix everything. And by then, people's going to be starving. It's going to be too late. They're going to be more vulnerable, and they're going to welcome any kind of authority that's going to feed them. And that's the plan. I know these videos I make aren't popular with a lot of people because they're honest. They don't feed you full of bullshit. I'm not going to feed you full of a fantasy. I'm going to be honest and tell you the truth. Prepare, get ready, because there's no turning this back, I don't think. It's coming. Get ready for it, prepare for it, focus on your preparedness, your food storage, getting armed, ammunition, spare magazines, spare parts, learn how to repair things, do things, grow things, fix things, become self-reliant in your community, become an asset to your community. Prepare. Thought the video was helpful. Give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. And a quick more matter, and I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully.